Well, this is a video to show how to work with GitHub Desktop and our repository. It depends on you. Either you want to work with GitHub Desktop application that works for macOS, Linux, Windows, or you want to use command line, you want to use an extension on the IDE that you're using like VS Code, PyCharm, whatever you want. On my case, I use GitHub Desktop along VS Code. So first of all, you need to be sure that you have added, using the GitHub Desktop, that you have added the project. On my case, I already have it, but otherwise what I can do is clone the repository. I just click or type build group and will show me in the case I have accepted the invitation on GitHub. That's all. You do not need to do anything else to clone the project. After you clone the project, you will get it here. You just click there, and always you have to fetch. As we told, this is getting the latest updates on the main branch of this repository. Let me show you a little more about this. On this case, I'm going to do a change on a file, but before doing the change, I'm going to do the following. I'm going to create my own branch. Update readme C Ferreira. So basically, I'm telling what I'm doing and who is doing. I'm going to create a branch. So again, this is GitHub Desktop. Otherwise, you can do it with an extension. For me, it is easier. So I created a branch, and as we saw during the call or the meeting with Marcelo, after we create a branch, we need to publish this. So let's do this, because what we're doing is publishing this over the repository, but the branch, we're not touching the main one. This is like forbidden and has protection. Either you want to do it, and doesn't matter if you want like to do changes over this one, will not let you do it. I'm going to check all the branches, and if you see, there is only one branch, and the last update was done by Fernando. I'm going to publish the branch. Okay, so let me update this, and if you see, now we have more branches. Your branches, that means that these branches belong to me, and active branches, that means when you go to the code and you see all the branches, you will not see this, because this does not belong to you, but you could see this. Okay, and if you see, like always when you're going to work, if you want to know which is the default branch, the one that everyone is supposed to be getting the updates, you can go ahead and do the following. Click on the menu of branches, view all branches, and the default one, that's the one. Usually it's called master or main. Okay, so this is pretty nice. I just created my own branch, and I want to do a change on the readme. The change that I want to do is the following. I want to place a button for Paulo LinkedIn. I'm going to do that. I'm going to open this on Visual Studio Code, because I use Visual Studio Code for Python, and I'm able to see the readme.md. So I'm just going to copy this very same thing. Okay, got it. I'm going just to copy the Paulo LinkedIn profile. So I'm just changing this Don't worry if you don't know what I'm doing, like this code. This is pretty easy, doesn't have any magic. But the important thing is that I'm doing changes here. And then I'm going to do something to make this appear on the remote. Okay. So now the change is done. That's the change that I want to do. There's nothing else. I'm going to go back to the GitHub Desktop. Again, I'm not using any command or extension. I'm just using this because I like it. For me, it's easier. After doing this change, I save the file within Visual Studio Code. Tells me, hey, I see that in your branch, that is the current branch that I'm using, you did this change. You want to post this, you want to commit this, and yes, I want. And this is pretty important. All the comments have a name and then a description. So update readme md. The description, adding a link in button for Paulo. I'm not doing anything else. I'm just doing this. I'm going to commit, and then tells me you want to push this over the GitHub, but see one thing. I'm not pushing this to main. I'm pushing this to my branch. Update readme C Ferreira. Let me show you right now how I see this. I am on the update readme C Ferreira, and as you see, there's no change, but I'm going to do the change. Push origin. So right now I did the change over the remote, but on my own branch. I'm still on my own branch. And if you see, here it goes. There's a button. But let's see something. If I change to the default one, the one that I'm not supposed to touch to push directly, the change is not appearing. Again, this is applicable not only for the readme.md, it's also applicable for everything, like for the folders, for everything. Okay, but again, if you see, when I go into GitHub, realize, hey, you know, Camilo, you have this branch that you did. Are you prepared to merge, like to mix your code with the main one? Yes or no? So since I have finished all the work that I was supposed to, that was adding only one button to the readme.md, within the GitHub online on the page, I'm going to say yes, I want to compare and pull request. And you'll see that when you are creating the pull request, will give you this template. On my case, most of these is not applicable because actually I'm just changing like the description online of the repository, not the actual code. But anyways, I'm going to play something. readme.md did not include Paulo LinkedIn. Okay, so on this case, all this stuff is not applicable. But if you see, we have a template that will ask you, hey, do you want to specify anything? Like, did you fix a bug? It is a new feature. The code was breaking and you are just changing to fix it, but it's not like a bug. It is more like something that was coded not properly or did not have everything that it was supposed to. Did you change the classes? This is automatically. you don't have like to write the whole stuff. In the case that is applicable to reply, you just reply it, unless it's not. Well, if that's not the case, you just erase it and update readme.amd pull request Camilo Ferreira. This is the title of the pull request. Update readme. Okay, so I'm just creating the pull request. Something that is good to say is the following. Most of the times that you're doing stuff in GitHub, it will send an automatic reply to Slack. Okay, so I have this. That's basically this the pull request. There's something important to say, that I have this special button because I'm kind of the administrator. You will not have it unless it is approved. What we need to do now is we need to request someone to check the code. So I'm adding Marcelo and Fernando to check the code. In the case that you type the name and the person is correctly enrolled to the repository, it will show up. Otherwise, no. But don't worry about that. Then we'll work on that. Labels. On this case, I'm not going to place any labels. No assignees. Nothing. So just that. And let's go back. Okay, so now what will happen is the following. The main branch is still the same. Again, I'm right now on the main branch. So I'm still checking out the same page. I do not see the change. But if I go to the branch that I created, I do see the change. And what happened is basically after I publish my own branch here on the repository, I requested Marcelo or Fernando to check out my change code and to approve it. After they approve it, I merge pull request and I can do it. Just that. There's nothing else. After you just click merge, because some of these bodies that are on the reviewers give you the permission, automatically will mix the code that you have on your own branch into the main. So that means that you were not the only one that was accepting these changes, but also the others. And the others are aware of the changes. And they know that actually they need to update the repository locally in their machines as well. And we use this to prevent conflicts. Just that.